Alright, what's going on, you guys? Brian here, and this is my NXT and AEW Dynamite recap for last night's episodes of both NXT and AEW Dynamite. I thought both shows were pretty good. I'm just going to get right into it. There was a new champion crowned on NXT. Number one contenders crowned on both shows as far as respective titles for both brands or one company and the brand, and a bunch of other stuff as far as going into next week. And so let's get right into it. Um, I'm going to start off with AEW Dynamite. The opening match was Jon Moxley taking on Alex Reynolds. Basically, this was a short match. Moxley beat Reynolds in seconds or a minute or so. Afterwards, Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle would come out, and Jericho would talk about him and Moxley's history with each other, how Moxley, when he was first coming up in the business, came to Jericho for advice, a bunch of other stuff. Basically offering him an opportunity to join the Inner Circle, even giving him a shirt, and basically told him or Jericho told Moxley to think about it, and whatever he decides, they would be waiting for him. So, obviously, with Moxley being the number one contender to the AEW World title, this is a very interesting turn of events, in my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. We saw a couple of promos, one involving an interview segment with Pac talking about how he wants another match against Kenny Omega, the rubber match. We saw another one with Brandy Rhodes talking about a bunch of the two particular women in the AEW women's division, Dr. Britt Baker and Chris Statlander. And then she talked about the women's champion, Riho. When she talked about Chris Statlander, she was like saying that something about her group growing, that being Brandy's. Then they showed a bald-headed guy. Apparently, it's kind of like the straight edge society that CM Punk had when he was competing in WWE. Basically, that's just what that reminds me of. Everybody's shaving their heads. The girl they had, I think, last week or the week before, that shaved her head, and then the guy that Brandy was going to reveal, but then said, no, we're not going to reveal you yet. So that was pretty interesting, an interesting segment there. We saw a Dark Order kind of a video where the Dark Order was talking through a commercial to Alex Reynolds, who was in his hotel room, saying, are you tired of being a loser? Join the Dark Order. Until his partner, John Silver, interrupted and asked him who is he talking to, because he was like talking to himself, saying he's tired of being a loser and stuff like that. So I actually like the way that they're doing the Dark Order as far as their persona, or their what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically like their whole mystique around the Dark Order, and wanting to add to their ranks. So let's see what else we had. The Butcher and the Blade, along with the Bunny, aka Allie. They took on, Allie was their manager. They took on QT Marshall and Cody. This is stemming from last week, or I didn't watch last week because I've been busy moving and stuff like that. I'm currently in my my new bedroom in my mom and my new house. So, um, but I watched yesterday's episode. They showed a clip of the Butcher and the Blade attacking Cody, or I saw that on YouTube, I think it was, and pretty good tag match. Not much like as far as anything unusual. QT Marshall, pretty impressive in this matchup. Basically, he lost. Um, his team lost to the Butcher and the Blade. Then, after Alley, Butcher, and Blade were leaving, Darby Allin would come out and basically would offer Cody his hand in friendship, basically saying that he wants, and then I think they said on social media somewhere that he was like, he wanted a match again. He'll team with Cody to face Butcher and the Butcher and the Blade if Cody gives him a rematch against him after they win or something like that. So that was pretty interesting. Um, let's see, we had an MJF and Wardlow segment where basically MJF was running down Cody. He then accepted the challenge that Cody had put towards him or had issued to him, but he said he'll accept it with stipulations that he has in mind, and he won't reveal those stipulations until when they come to Jacksonville, which I believe would be January 1st, the first episode of 2020 for AEW. Big Swole, one of the newest AEW women's signings, she took on Emi Sakura. This was a big match for Sakura to win, but she didn't because of the whole rankings system now they have in AEW as far as the rankings for the championships. Big Swole picked up the win in that one. Kip Sabian and Shawn Spears lost to Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega. Basically because of Joey Janela having Tully Blanchard tied to a chair. The lights went out. Lights came back on, and Tully was tied to a chair, and Joey Janela was right behind him. That distracted Spears, and that caused him to run up and save his manager, his mentor, and that continues that feud with Spears and Janela. Then Omega and Adam Page picked up the win, but it was because Hangman Adam Page had made a blind tag after Omega hit a move on Sabian and basically won with the buckshot lariat, doing kind of like starting the tease of a heel turn for Hangman Page. So that'll be interesting to see if they actually turn him heel. Sammy Guevara lost to Luchasaurus. This was basically to build to next week's match between Jungle Boy and Chris Jericho. After the match, Jake Hager and Jericho would run down. They would go after Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, and Jungle Boy would get involved. This would basically end with Jericho getting pinned and counted down by Jungle Boy pinned him, and Marco Stunt count the 1, 2, 3. And of course, next week, a non-title match. It's going to be Jungle Boy versus Chris Jericho in a 10-minute time limit non-title match. Then in the main event, it was the Young Bucks versus Proud and Powerful for the number one contender spot to the AEW World Tag Team titles. Next week, the winner would get the opportunity to challenge SCU. Pretty good match. Texas Street Fight. Of course, there was going to be, weapons involved. It started out on the stage. Brandon Cutler, who came out to save the Bucks when Sammy Guevara, who had come out with Ortiz and Santana, and they attacked the Young Bucks. Cutler would wind up getting put through the stage. Pretty good match, in my opinion. Um, a lot of weapons involved. Dustin Rhodes got involved because Jake Hager got involved, and he went after them, or he went after him. Basically, to wrap up the recap for AEW Dynamite, Young Bucks hit the Indie Taker or Meltzer Driver, whatever they call it. I don't remember now. On, I believe it was Ortiz. I could be mistaken, or Santana, and they picked up the win to become number one contenders, and then had a stare down with SCU. So pretty good show for AEW Dynamite. As far as NXT is concerned, I'm gonna make this quick. We saw a new cruiserweight champion crowned as Angel Garza defeated Leo Rush to via submission to become the new cruiserweight champion. Afterwards, he would propose to his girlfriend. So congratulations to Angel Garza and his fiancee for their engagement. Raul Mendoza defeated Cameron Grimes because with a little bit of a distraction from Kushida, who Cameron Grimes had attacked at the Performance Center, I believe the day before. And then, of course, last week, when Kushida was going to face Raul Mendoza, Cameron Grimes attacked Mendoza before his match and then replaced him, even though Grimes lost to Kushida. Travis Banks of NXT UK, he defeated Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons. Basically, this was a build-up for their When Worlds Collide coming up in the month of January. Dakota Kai defeated Mia Yim. Basically, this was a match set up by what happened at TakeOver War Games. Dakota Kai defeated Mia Yim by ramming her into the exposed turnbuckle. Afterwards, Mia Yim would go after Dakota, wound up back suplexing her from the top of a thing, a trust or thing, something like that, through a table. That would cause Dakota Kai to receive staples due to an injury, injury she sustained in that one. Breezango defeated the Singh brothers. Sorry. Basically, not much of a match here. I mean, it wasn't that great of a match. It was okay. Breezango picked up the win in that one. Bianca Belair defeated Kaden Carter. Once again, another match that's not didn't have anything special. And then in a triple threat match in the main event, it was Finn Balor defeating Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa to become the number one contender to Adam Cole's NXT Championship, and he will get his opportunity next week. So they also did a promo thing for next week's NXT Women's Championship match between Shayna Baszler, the defending champion, and Rhea Ripley for next week. So that's going to be an interesting match. But like I said, both shows very good. Pretty good episodes last night. So yeah, I mean, I thought both shows were pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week on both shows. So with that being said, if you guys watched last night's episodes of NXT and AEW Dynamite, let me know what you guys thought of them in the comments below. This has been my AEW Dynamite and NXT recap for last night's episodes. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.